All right, it's 9 o'clock. So I'd like to get started if we could. Call the meeting to order. First of all, pledge of allegiance. Somebody take the flag. All right.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mark Eversman here.
Jerry Brusco here.
Stacey Anderson here.
Shown that we have a quorum present for the meeting. Public comment. We have a sheet from Marty.
Yes, at the board meeting this past Tuesday, it was mentioned community associations going out for bids. They also mentioned that there is landscaping that needs to be removed to give them access to the wall. So I think we're responsible from the wall to the sidewalk.
No.
But anyway,
Yeah, from Colonial to Pelican Reserve Boulevard, there's only a chain link fence. Beyond the fire station, it's not ours at all.
Oh, he's talking about painting the wall though.
So
So
it's still, that's all, it's,
Tree line.
but
it's there.
I'd really
Yeah.
like to see somebody from this group get involved with the community association to make sure that the colors work. Because right now, we've changed all the colors of the monuments. Okay, so I don't know what color they're planning on painting the wall, but I think it should match the new color of the monuments. That would also blend it with the colors from Bridgetown and also Marina Bay. So I see somebody from this group get involved in that case.
I am color impaired.
I,
Okay. Susan
So
would be willing.
that's the
No,
only.
no. Okay.
It was mentioned that this past meeting on Tuesday.
and just to follow up, I did sign in and I asked them to work with us because I don't know in 5 years where
Maybe
the,
you should.
no, I work full time.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
you can just fill me in.
Yeah, so I just think, in 5 years, we don't know where the color's gonna go, so I'm not the gray person. I think gray is out,
It is.
first of all. And second of all, our community is more of warm colors and not cool colors. So, yeah, I am an artist, so I get that stuff. So, in 5 years, my vote, I'm still in this committee, would be to go back to a warm color. So by painting it gray, I don't think the master would be really happy down the road if we went that color, the previous color scheme.
I did get up at the board meeting and ask Faye
Yeah.
what the color scheme is gonna be, and she was blank.
Yeah, and thank you for doing that.
They,
appreciate that.
PPCA did participate with the color selection. They gave us.
With this
guy, with ours.
Well, Jennifer with KW worked with one of our past members. Those are the two people that picked up the colors.
They did participate, had an opportunity.
Oh,
They were also present at the meeting
In the meeting.
where it was discussed.
got it.
Some of the board members were here. And it went through the
P-PAC.
PPAC and it went through the ACC.
Refresh my memory.
I-
Colorblind.
It was repose gray, triticum black, and a variance of white.
Okay. Oh, the only reason I say this, the gray or the black. Gray would take away from any planting. All you'd see is that massive gray. So of the white or white screen.
Yep.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah,
Bridgeton.
and you're right, the gray, it does. You look at the gray, your eye leads to the gray
Right.
and not to the greenery, not to
But
the
the
landscaping.
the wall at Bridgetown is not the gray we have on the.
Right.
And it could be that. I don't,
It's a cooler gray.
well, ours is a cooler gray.
Right.
Theirs is a warmer.
Oh,
It's
Right,
the undertones.
Yeah.
It's the undertones.
And that,
Blue
that's-
undertones.
that's still okay. It's the coolness of this
Yeah, because you look at the front gate as you come in and it just does not
Makes
blend
sense.
at all.
With the
Okay.
cruise.
So Susan will work with them on that. She sounds like she's got a handle on it.
She's up to date.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bob Geppert also had an item for discussion.
And informational points, the CDD board is working on this new assessment methodology. And one of the items that has been under discussion is what is referred to as outside the gate landscaping. So generally speaking, I'm going to say outside the gate landscaping is tree line corridor between Colonial and us. Historically, Pelican Reserve has maintained that. This group has maintained that entire area. There's a number of alternatives for the board to consider. The most recent that we were talking about is that Pelican would continue to maintain from the sidewalk to the fence on our side only, but not do any of the other. And more, when I'm thinking about this, and this hasn't been decided, but I just want thoughts people might have. It is a financial benefit for us not to have anything to do with the other. So at the last meeting, and that was brought up as one of the possible alternatives. I have talked to PPCA because they own the land to see if they have any thoughts about it. So just be aware of the fact we may give us that financial responsibility. No, I think we'll still have the relative speaking control.
Can I ask
Sure,
about, that?
absolutely.
When you say you have control, what does that mean?
You tell the landscaper what to do.
And do you set the budget for what the landscaper is?
Yes,
to do?
we will still participate in that. There's a gateway landscape budget, and
That would be
heretofore,
my only fear is. that
heretofore
it
has
would
been our
deteriorate.
landscape budget entirely.
Okay.
But that's going to change no matter what happens. And then you're just saying whether you want to have that little adds to the confusion. In the old days, it was always referred to as shared. We had interior landscaping, and we had shared landscaping. It took me forever to realize that the shared just meant commercial. Okay. Where we're at. You're
So
right.
in giving up the land, what do you actually give up? What do you mean by that specifically?
Well, by transferring the management oversight to it, becomes a district asset for budgetary purposes. And in the budget, we pay 1/3 of the budget and Gateway pays 2/3.
But we would still have the ability to make recommendations as to what
Absolutely.
plantings and things like that would be.
So we don't, again, right now, at this stage of the discussion, I don't see anything negative about it. Any other, kind of transparent to them, they don't really, they've got old Gateway budget, this just becomes a part of that.
Is that consistent with the community south of us? And
We have nothing to do with anything.
no, I mean, in terms of the management.
I have no idea how they do it.
I just wondered, just curious.
We didn't even understand how we did it. Because it was I'm serious, it's such a mess.
So you have talked about Colonial to Pelican Preserve Boulevard. What about the small section
We'll still-
just past that?
We'll get rid of all of that, but we just put a bunch of shrubs and
Right.
to the wall, and we will still have the same level of control we've always.
Any other questions regarding that? Approval of minutes. We do not have the hard copy with us, so I cannot sign off on them. If anybody has had we still vote on them?
You can still vote on
All
them.
right. Does anybody
There-
have any comment?
There wasn't any minutes to have in this one. That's not attached to the agenda right now.
Well, we had a meeting last time, so there should have been some minutes. but-
They just haven't come back to us.
Okay,
So
all right. I guess we can't approve them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't have that.
Financial report, did you get, all right, financial report, we still have money. I mean, we're fine. You can see the numbers. Does anybody really have any questions regarding them? I mean, a lot of the projects we do can go in one of three buckets. It's just a matter of where we choose. So if one starts to look a little close, then we just throw it in another bucket as far as I'm concerned.
The only thing that may be impacted is when this methodology is finished, and then we start on the budget. There's going to be some items that'll be deleted,
Sure,
so there will be some changes.
sure. So any questions regarding financials? Landscape Subcommittee selection recommendation. I'm not sure.
Must be somebody that needs to be
Yeah,
re-upped.
there
Oh,
was attached, yeah.
um, Vince
And Bruce.
and,
And Bruce.
and Bruce. Did they both send in? They said they were sending
They
in.
did.
Yeah, they did.
They have both applied to be reinstated as continuing members. I guess I would make a motion to continue Vince Spaghetto and Bruce Blatt as members of this subcommittee. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? They get to stay. Areas of new planning, as usual. Yes, yes. I have a list of requests that I would like to run by you and see if there's any questions regarding this. Two of these are my fault. They were areas I thought we have approved already. I know we have approved them, but I did not get them on the last PO, so I will include them on the next PO. And that is grassy area by the Matarita stop sign for $1,200, and grass in Casella where we had an irrigation leak, so a patch died. So Casella's asked us to repair that for $72. I do 3 more gold mound. Those are the yellow colored bushes out front, to replace 3 that aren't looking good or somewhat dead. We lost 5 plumbago in that island area close to the Camarillo Bridge. They were doing very well. Approximately 5 died, so I'd like to replace those. 3 variegated ginger as you're coming down Pelican Preserve Boulevard. Before the 4-way stop to the left, there's an area of variegated ginger. 3 are dead, and I will address the reasoning on that later, but I would like to replace them. Palazzo, the roundabout, what I would like to do there is they've requested that we refurbish that a little bit. It does need it. The Trinette is toast. I mean, it just doesn't look good. So I'm going to pull out the Trinette and a Crinum lily, which is just kind of stuck off to the side for no apparent reason. Ameriscape will do that for $170, and then I will plant it with blue agave, ups from existing blue agave that we have, and do that. So that'll only be $170. The median by Bellagio, we were going to convert that to annuals. That does not cost us anything to do that because we have taken annuals out in other places. So it's in the contract, they must supply the annuals, and we're still at a net deficit as far as what was originally thought that we would be using in the contract.
And that is where those shrubs are that have.
The bougainvillea, there are approximately 3 viable ones. I'll move those back where we have other viable ones to try and get that a little more full. So that will be at no cost. There is a dead foxtail palm over on Cypress Grove. No idea why it died. So I'd like to replace that with a 25-gallon, and that will be approximately $600. Also want to plant bushes around the pond on the corner that we draw irrigation out of that has the odor on the corner of Cypress and Pelican Reserve Boulevard. There is a large pipe that comes out of the ground on Cypress Grove. There are some grasses planted around it that just don't do a very good job of masking it. So I would like to plant 9 bushes around that to make it look a little better from the street view. The big one is,
Mark on that one.
Yeah.
Totally agree. But we have to go with PPCA on it because they have the landscape easement around 22. That's not in our footprint.
Is it in between the sidewalk and the thing?
it is in between the sidewalk and the road.
Even so.
So we don't have any of that?
Just to be safe, just run it.
Okay.
We can look it up.
Yeah, I think if it truly belongs to the golf course, to be honest with you.
Well, anyway, the big item is a resident expressed concern about a row of bushes. And when I say a row of bushes, it's 400 feet long that goes from Tiberio down to Valentino. And they are looking bad. I mean, they've aged out. They're fire bush that are just nothing but twigs with a few
Which
leaves
one?
on top. And she has requested
Which of
that
the
we
two ponds
replace
is it?
those.
Is it this
That
one?
is Cindy Watterson's area of responsibility. So I asked her to also
Yeah.
take a look at it.
It's all Pelican Reserve.
And she agreed that
It's all
needs to be
PPCA.
refurbished. And so we're in the process of getting quotes on that.
Would you look at under? Because fire,
I'm not going to put Firebush back
Okay.
in. There, it's either going to be, well, like I said, Cindy's working on it and she's talking about actually mixing it up just a little bit, not just one solid row of plants, but putting in perhaps 50 Trinette and then 50 of something else and maybe Trinette again and things like. Anyway, she is gone right now due to a family funeral, and she will address that when she comes back. But all in all, these improvements would cost not to exceed $12,000. Does anybody have any problem if we go forward with these? Sure,
Yes.
okay, make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So motion was to not exceed 12,000,
Correct.
not the original 8,000 that was in here on the,
No, I added a couple of
Okay.
things after.
so not to exceed 12,000 for
Correct.
beautification of landscaping.
Correct. Sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Little, boulevard area,
The median,
and it's so narrow there and.
Yep.
there's Those gazillions. You know, there's dead, there's some that I don't think got planted in deep enough or whatever. You know, somebody do it rather than, I'm just saying. From a bill of product, just do grass or something, but I said I'd bring it forth to them.
so my thoughts on that, and I briefly talked about this once before. Median is extremely difficult. And Gateway's way of handling the median is you take everything out and put in shells, rock, whatever. I have done this once before, 3.5 years ago, and Facebook blew up about how we were destroying the community and the beautification and blah, blah, blah. So
Was that in the guard shack?
that was the
Trieste?
one close to the guard shack to the
Trieste.
Trieste. There used to be bougainvillea in there that had basically done what you're talking about, degraded over time to where they just didn't look like anything. But again, so we went ahead and did that, planted grass. I think it looks fine, but again, several members of the community claimed we were destroying the beauty of the community. So I'm
Well,
reluctant.
there, it's so
Well,
narrow.
I understand that, and I
It
agree.
looks-
I agree.
I'm married to one. Why do you do that?
Well,
So stay
Public
with
record.
go ahead.
stay with me on this. So I just replanted several of the bougainvillea in that area. I'm in hopes you got to give them at least
Yeah.
through the summer to get their feet underneath them and hopefully, and then trim them up a little bit and see if they'll fill in. If they don't fill in, they will be pulled. As to what we put in after that, I've got some thoughts. I don't want to do the rock, whatever. I would do grass. But again, like you said, that is an extremely difficult area to grow plants.
Yeah, it is. It's
But
just- it's so narrow.
they have made it for 20 years.
Yeah, but they never did well.
So it is on the radar to see how they do. And this is their last chance.
Any considerations of making it wider?
No,
Okay.
I'm not messing with.
Okay.
Turtle Lane there.
Didn't know.
I would go with grass before I
Okay.
started messing with that. Next agenda item I wanted to discuss is the frequency of our meetings. Right now, we're slated to meet every month. I don't know that we need to meet every month. Most of the committees do not meet every month. We have gotten to a point where we have addressed, my opinion, most of the major areas that need to be addressed. And now we're getting into more of a maintenance type thing. And I don't think a monthly meeting is necessary to discuss that.
If you needed to call a special meeting, don't you have that right as?
We have the ability as long as we post it a week in
Yeah, if you
advance.
had to though.
And we have that ability. And I also have the ability if something needs to get done, just to go ahead and approve it and get it done and then bring it to the meeting or the committee, subcommittee afterwards. So it's not like we're stopping
Right.
progress on anything by going to every other. Yeah, Marty. I'll wait till she comes back before we take a vote on
You bet.
anything. Oh. So Sarah,
Sorry.
we're just talking about potentially at this point going to every other month meetings.
Yes.
Do you have any opinion on that?
This is,
Go ahead.
is there a way that we can call meeting if needed?
Yes, yeah, we just discussed that. As long as we give a week's notice in advance,
Okay.
we can call a special meeting. And it was my opinion that we're getting in more of a maintenance type situation.
Yeah.
And to meet every month, I don't think is really, we don't have the big projects that we have been dealing with.
It sounds like we have some seasonal members though,
We do.
so we should try to schedule the meetings such that most likely we hit them for as many of the high seasons.
You can call in, but you can't be part of a quorum.
Oh, that's.
Right,
Would you do
so,
that?
so like, October to May. And maybe we just lay off for this summer or have one meeting or something like that. Maybe not every other month, more so like more active in the high season. I don't know.
So does anybody have a problem? Again, I don't see anything big coming up on our radar that I can't take care of in just the day-to-day operations. Does anybody have a problem waiting till April? And then we'll poll everybody, see what their availability is, set our meeting schedule for
Sounds
next
great.
year. So we'll skip March and go into April. And then the plan will be to go every other month, except for potentially the summer. If too many people are going to be gone, there's no point trying to force a meeting for that.
So you need a motion?
Can I? Yeah. So I am working on the front entryway. I walked with Fabian Jr. the other day, about 3 hours. And we're going to come up with a plan that I want to propose to the committee. So April fits in my timeline just perfectly, that I could bring the plan in.
Okay. A word of caution,
Yes.
Fabian Jr. over plants
Yes.
terribly.
Yes. And I was very careful with him.
And the
So,
last proposal he put out, I cut in half and it's
Yes.
fine.
and that's totally fine.
Just so you know.
Yeah. And and I kept telling him I have a low budget. I'm not putting that many in. Plants grow in Florida. You give them a year and
Yeah.
they're bushy. So I did all of that.
Okay.
But so that works very, very, and I want to do it in phases. I don't want to, do it all at once neither. But I want to pay attention around the guard gate. But the second thing is that I'm meeting with Jennifer from Streets and Security.
okay.
We're gonna walk over at the front entryway and see what her ideas are. So we could sort of match up and team together on some things.
And just so you know, I would rather do this as a bigger project as opposed to piecemealing it through.
Okay.
I prefer to get it done. And it makes it easier for them also because then they can control the irrigation. So everything gets hit in that zone all at once as opposed to slowly drawing it out.
Churning.
And plus, if we approve this in April, it'll be May before they get it in. And then we start going into the rainy season, which is what I really like. To
Okay,
have the
good.
plants go into the rainy season.
Okay,
Yeah, drive by my neighbor. It's the plants for her house. She doesn't know all the names of them and call it the other one has big flowers. They're very good.
It's a snow queen. It's a snow queen hibiscus.
Is it? Is hibiscus?
Yeah.
With the little pink flowers?
Well, They're
Now,
like this
these are
big.
little pink.
I'd have-
And they're variegated, but it could be the snow queen. But anyway, you'll see him for front.
Okay.
Landscaping, she had done, she worked with him.
Okay.
Just,
Oh, yeah, that's.
Yeah, and we're gonna bring color,
here we are.
we're, you know, I'm
I
gonna
like
do a lot
the
of
She's
trimming
under the counter.
because they don't have any oversight on trimming.
and
So we
these are-
talked about other items.
They had, because our neighborhood has been watching more, they had more water.
We finally put those walls
Just to
in.
give you-
Because we can't notice.
And I have a book I would.
I have a book too.
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank you.
at this point, I would like to make a motion that we consider meeting, that we go to meeting every other month with a schedule to be set at the April meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll work on that. The next zone responsibilities, and this isn't, it's just meant to be a discussion. Everybody has a zone. And I would just like, obviously, to walk on, if you see a problem with trimming, a Ameriscape will become lax, bushes start to grow over the sidewalk, put in a ticket. You don't need to call me. You don't need to do anything but put in a ticket, and they're very responsive to coming out, usually within a week. They will trim them back to where they're supposed to be. Obviously, if you see a problem with the irrigation, just put in a ticket.
Could I ask you, a question?
Sure.
Is there any way we can get a copy of the time the irrigation?
Actually, I sent that out.
Yeah, I just saw that. Mhm.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
Okay,
I'll look, I'll pull it.
okay.
Yeah, that was my communication with
Only
Fabian
because,
to get
you know, some.
the schedule for everyone.
They had sent
2 in the
that,
morning.
and so I forwarded it out to
Because
the
if you're not
subcommittee.
out at the time, you can't always tell if the irrigation.
Exactly.
And I like to,
I can't tell at night. Is there a trick? 'Cause
yeah, sometimes you have to get out and you'll see, but you actually, you can't, like the sprayers. They'll look like they're not watering, but if the street light or you have a
Flashlight.
light,
I've
you
used a
can see
flashlight.
where it is actually
Okay.
hit.
So, and as I said with Cindy Watterson, she has the zone that goes down to Palazzo, starts around Portofino and goes south. And when I got a request from a resident that the bushes were looking bad, wondering if we could do anything about it, I asked her if she'd be willing to take that over. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's fine. If you do feel comfortable doing that, that's fine too. You can make recommendations on bushes if you want. That's fine. I will say that I will review the recommendation before I put it in for a proposal, just to make sure I'm comfortable with what was proposed. Again, if you work with American, and I'm not trying to badmouth them, but they tend to overplant so badly that,
What month?
so, and Cindy originally was going to recommend one bush, and I said, no, wrong bush for that application. So I do want to review and may reject whatever.
Well, and also a lot of the bushes will spread out.
Right.
You know, I didn't know when I had put some at by my house, I could have done with 5 left, because
Oh, yeah.
it's a bush that
I made the same.
spreads out very nice. On that, we'll,
And obviously, we just did a planting with several new plants. If any of them are in your zone, please watch them. If they die, I'm going after Ameriscape for warranty because we have a 1-year warranty. They kind of skip on stuff. If a hurricane comes through, force majeure, act of God, it doesn't matter if they were pretty much dead before, but so I want to hold them accountable and get replacements under the warranty. So just keep an eye on those.
And you're exactly right, because he tried to pot some new ones. I went, whoa, whoa, whoa. When were these planted? These are new. And he went, oh, I said, are they under warranty? And he goes, yeah, I think so. I think you have a month left on them. I said, I want them replaced.
We have a 1-year warranty. That's in the contract and it's in the new contract as well.
I also have a question. At the mine, some of them. Can't think of them.
Jatropha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not cutting them back. Like if you go toward the town
Put in
center,
a ticket and they will take care of it.
well, that, even though if it's not my area,
Yeah, anybody can put a ticket in.
well, I couldn't.
Go ahead.
One other thing, on the street lights up front, are they ever gonna start?
They're not ours.
Not ours. Who does?
Safety and security.
Safety and stuff, I'm going to that one too.
Thank you. I'm getting asked about.
At your last meeting, you were talking about replanting of the Villa Trentino monument.
Yep.
I don't know if that's been resolved, but I did go take it on my own to go to my landscaper
Yep.
with the price and what they thought it looked like. But I'd like to submit that unless you've already made a
Well-
decision.
Actually, I got it.
It should be a-
The price is good, but
I told them they had a warranty for a year.
I would like to do a little more than that because that's coming right into Pelican. And I want that area to look a little more special.
Agree.
And Flax Lily, I'm just not that impressed with. They look okay for a couple years and then they start to look a little shabby. So I would like to do more than that.
Is that in the,
It's this monument.
no, I mean, is what you're planning to do here in the proposed Snyder?
No.
No, not
It
yet.
would be separate.
Okay,
And it did discuss it at the last
Yeah.
meeting though, and we approved spending that money up to $2,500 out of our budget as
Okay.
opposed to
Good.
asking an HOA to do it.
I had a question on the monuments too, because there was discussion, not at the last, but the prior meeting about the area just in front of the four corners, in front of the signage on the monument, and those beds. We didn't resolve that, whether those would be planted
Oh, okay,
Or whether
inside.
right inside the monument.
So I would like to table that till Vince can be here
Okay,
because
that's fine.
Vince has kind of been working
Yeah.
on potential
Okay.
solutions to that as to whether or not they get replanted or we go with something else.
Can we table that?
Right.
Add it to
April's,
April's meeting.
because Vince has been, like I said, actively
Yeah,
working.
Yeah,
on
I
this
just
solution.
wondered if maybe there had been.
And there has been no decision made as to whether or not we would potentially start back up with annuals or go with potential hardscape. So there's no decision made on that. That needs to be a discussion and we'll come to resolution on that hopefully at the April meeting. Okay,
In my zone, so I just.
okay.
For that I haven't missed that.
Next up, which is not on the agenda, if I can go to that. The Toya cul-de-sac that got run over. I sent an email to United Van Lines. They ignored it. I sent another email to United Van Lines. They ignored it. So I sent a third email and said, are you going to ignore this one or should I have the attorney contact you? They responded the next day. It was amazing. Now, so what I'm working, would I ever get an attorney involved? Absolutely not. I mean,
But they.
No, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
We have an attorney on staff
Well,
to do that.
anyway, it's $300 to fix it where their guy ran over it. And they have requested, if we know the homeowner, where they were, what the date was. There was a couple other things. Anyway, Bruce Blatt has a picture and I've asked him to send that to me. And the resident who brought this to my attention said that she sent it in to C-Click Fix.
And it is a secret fix. It's also an item that Bruce has brought before here, and it's an attachment. I can forward
So
that to you.
if you could do that,
Okay.
there, she thought there was a picture. She gave it to her HOA president who has since moved on and everything got lost. So we are making progress on that. If we can get some information to give to them, I think they will pony up $300 is all we're asking.
Bruce may have better pictures of that. The one that was submitted just looks like one squashed plant. It doesn't,
And
it doesn't
that-
really have.
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
It's the false agave and
Yeah.
it's the only one I really care about that got damaged. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a picture where obviously somebody ran it over. And to continue along that vein, one of the roundabouts I was at, you can see where a larger truck ran just straight across the roundabout. He didn't hit the plants, but it kind of rutted up the grass a little bit, which really bugs me a lot that somebody would do that. So if we see anybody, I really want to hold them accountable. I mean,
Get a picture of their license plate or
yeah,
something. We don't have to run them down.
you can do whatever you want as far as
So when they were doing the, on Aviano, the quads, they were doing their, roof.
okay,
I found tractor trailers running over the monument, remember that?
Yeah.
And this, and the yards and everything, I ran after them. Cause they would just put in flowers and.
You're the
took out
asshole.
whole corner.
Mm.
And they paid.
Yeah,
The broker paid.
most of
Gateway.
these people will pay up if you can say, this is when you did it, what you
Yeah.
did, and we're not gonna go away, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So my third one that I want to bring,
They
So-
did. They came out the other side, the going out, they went in that
Avoid
side.
that lane.
and the last area of concern is previously I asked you to approve variegated ginger to replace some that have died. I'm pretty sure the reason they died is some resident is running over that area with their golf cart. They cut through off of the Ravenna area and it's a nice little shortcut for them. So my question is, what can we do to keep people from running through planted beds? What is our capability?
Put big rocks.
That's what I was
I
thinking.
mean, just,
I mean, you can do big rocks, you can do curbing.
well, I don't want to do, this is golf courses on one side. Then there's an area that we control that we have planted with variegated ginger.
That,
If you're come through the gate, you're heading down Pelican Preserve Boulevard, you're about a third of the way to the four-way stop. On the left, we planted variegated ginger.
I know where you mean.
It's a shady area
So why would they go through that to get to? work?
because it must be convenient for them because I can see tracks where somebody ran
Between
through.
the end of the building and like the pond.
This is further down where they want to cut through to the preserve area entrance or something like that is what.
So you don't think they're at their errant golf ball?
No, no, this has got a,
Okay.
starting to look like a little bit of a worn path look to it.
I know exactly where you mean.
So
Can you say that spot again? Because I think I know. I think I know.
Here, I got the,
Here it is. You got it up here.
Mark, he's got it
Got
on the
it there.
screen over here, so you could see.
here's the front gate.
Go
Coming
down
in,
towards the four-way stop.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
four-way stops right here.
No, it's not.
That's four-way stop. That's four-way stop.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. Now, you're right.
That's coming in.
Building,
It's like right in here. Because here's where the conservation path is coming down. Here. Somewhere.
Yeah. So it's somewhere in here. Variegated ginger, it's got a leaf about that big, it's yellow and green.
Yeah.
Won't they be cutting on the golf cart, on the golf club side
Don't ask,
from the
I
path
have no
to
idea
the?
why, but you can see tracks.
So do you
it's gotta
think,
be coming from one of those condo buildings.
That's my opinion.
do you think they're coming up the golf cart path on the golf course and then?
I back up a little bit, but back up. Cause I live over there. I think what they're doing is these four buildings instead, because.
So you're doing
From
it.
my yeah. Yeah. Instead of, they're trying to cut this whole corner off by coming across this way.
But that's the lake. Isn't that the lake?
Yeah.
Here's,
So they're coming on the golf
they're
course.
coming out of the golf course this way.
And they're
Instead
cutting-
of going all the way around
Oh,
So,
to the park, yeah.
So what do you think?
gotcha.
so my question is, when we put in new plants, can we put stakes by them?
Stakes?
What do you mean by stakes?
Like
Wooden
poles.
posts sticking out of the ground, not hidden.
Punji stick.
I have to remember.
Either that, or can we ask the golf course to put up a sign? No golf carts allowed or
But they
something to
might
that.
go next to it or find another. I agree, but they
I
might
don't
I'm
find
just
another
look-
way to
I
get
don't
it.
like signage. I think
Okay,
it's so easy to get signs on every single
But
thing.
my-
and then
my
it just
concern-
is Ugly.
I don't have a problem with rocks, but my concern is how much is it gonna cost to bring in
Couple
rocks and,
hours.
yeah.
Doing that because once they get through the golf course, they can just take the cart path all the way to the club.
I don't
Why would they-
understand why a lot of people do things that they
And they
do.
shouldn't be on the golf course.
Yeah.
Be.
That's
Now,
Could
here-
you
here's
just do
another
a
idea.
decorative tree post thing?
I was thinking, can we plant something else there or behind it,
But
that
would they
can't
just make a new?
get around it?
You know what I mean, though? Like where, or it could be even inverted, you know, the
Right.
decorative posts that are capped just to, and then the plantings could go in front or around somehow.
Just
You know
fix
what
the
I
post
mean
with a
now.
chain. If this is truly, that the people are coming from here. Already.
That, just put up a camera and get the person that's doing it and turning it.
I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. but- If you have a chance, go out and I think you'll see indentations that indicate somebody's going through on
Probably
the
right
golf
on.
cart.
Gotta work with the golf course there because they own
That's,
that whole parcel.
that's the other thing. So I didn't know what rights we had as far as a landscape easement.
What about a communication to the residents there?
To the HOA.
And the HOA president. about
Yeah,
being-
to say like,
But-
this is a problem and it's.
Predominantly, Gateway only has any easement to about a foot behind the sidewalk.
It might be a house.
So you can see where, you can see where I am.
Had 200 feet. I don't know what we're even planning that for then anyway.
Yeah, you could do the same.
I just know that I won't come out here and maintain anything beyond the sidewalk. Like even up by the gate,
Everywhere I ask.
all of this is owned by the
20
golf course.
feet Is our easement, landscape
Yeah,
easement.
but the golf course has plenty of out of bounds markers that they put out.
Yeah.
With a little rope between them. That would stop.
Yeah, they do.
I think I would.
Bob, is there
like to try
a
communication
landscape buffer
first.
easement that runs down Pelican Reserve Boulevard
Yes.
on the golf course side? Do you know how
Well,
big
it
it
runs
is?
down, Pelican. Whether it's golf course conservation or whatever. We have a landscape buffer easement.
But see, if you do anything with that one specific where you're seeing the tracks, if they're determined to do this, they're just gonna find a different.
Right.
You know, you're gonna be putting boulders the whole way down.
Well, that's why out of bounds stakes with chains.
Is there another way to start tracking?
Yeah.
But they have out of bounds markers by the sidewalk.
Yeah, but that's just a general kind of thing.
Okay.
They don't prevent them from going there. Or if you strung chain. Anyway.
Okay. So would we ask the golf course to put that up or who would be responsible for?
If you want to
putting-
get it done, do it. Not talking about letting.
So do we have the ability to do that?
I mean, I would look at it from a risk perspective. What you put out there, is it going to be an endangerment to somebody if they do run it over?
At night.
Yeah,
Hopefully it screws up the golf.
I look at 90% of what I look through is the lens of safety and risk, and it's, will this create an obstacle that could be potentially dangerous, and then put the district, yeah, the hard way.
That compared to the cost of replacing a couple bushes. You know, like the risk. And I mean, if in the end we replace those bushes every year, I feel like that's the least cost, but I honestly think we should try communicating to those communities
Well,
first.
and maybe, and I think PPCA us to do that is just put out an email saying,
Yeah.
don't cut through.
Specific to this area.
Right,
Well-
we've noticed damage to landscape.
Or-
Here's the thing with the safety, it's not designated a cart.
Correct.
So whether you put a bench there with plantings, whatever, if they hit it, they're not supposed to be driving for liability, they're not supposed to
But
be
if a
driving.
golf,
through there
but if a
anyway.
golfer hits it,
Our other option, which has worked, where we had a resident putting landscape waste in a city lift station area as their little dumping ground. My wife went on Facebook and requested that if anybody sees who is doing it, we knew who was doing it. But if anybody saw who was doing that, to please notify us immediately so we could pursue them. It stopped.
You know, Facebook might be the way to do it.
I mean, we can give it a try. And just see.
Get an email out to the residents.
The revenue president of HOA could send a blast out.
Because somebody even if they're
I
not
get-
doing it, they know who's doing it, and it's then
Don't read
embarrassing.
it, say, oh, they're on to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I would suggest exhausting every soft control measure that you
Alright.
can put in place
We'll
before
try
you go
a
to a hard
Facebook
control.
thing and see if that can be done.
Let's build a 3-foot ditch.
People are not.
I like the
Gotta
punch
get with-
sticks.
We
myself.
could build a monument to the land.
Okay. All right. I will try Facebook and I will email the HOA president of Ravenna and ask him if he can put something out
Thank you. Mike.
to please quit running over our plans.
I
do
think you're
more than
assuming
one
it's a Ravenna. It
Yeah.
might be a
Man.
house across the street.
No.
That's my problem.
No, they
It
would.
could be somebody visiting.
Wow, it's probably somebody off of Breno.
It's my street.
Probably somebody off of Breno.
This has happened more than once.
What street?
It could be somebody visiting.
This has
But
happened.
he,
over
but
time.
he says it's a repetitive issue.
It's
so
happened over
likely
time
a
because I see one dead, then later I see another
Okay.
dead, then later another dead. So
But it could be a renter.
Whatever.
I don't care who it is.
It's okay.
Well, you were picking on my resident.
All right. Moving along. Does anybody else have anything for the good of the cause?
I have a question.
Yes.
This one, and I'm gonna, get with the Mayor'scape, but there was a weed and a bill in the lawn, and now it's going behind. It's taken over the course of 3 years. It's going behind on 27, some of the lawns there. So it is spreading. I've watched it. I have pictures. It's very invasive. I was actually told this by Hobby 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So it's very expensive to eradicate.
Yep.
And now Carol, I saw it's the same weed as in her yard. I don't know if it's brought in by mowers. I'm bringing this up. Found out it's very expensive, Dick. It's a special spray.
Yep.
And they need to make sure for the master, the mowers are clean and not carrying.
The mowers actually are cleaning their equipment because of
That other.
what's the wilt?
Oh, the other, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they're
they are
Okay.
required
fungus.
to
They're
disinfect their mowers when they come in.
Okay, well, I just wanted to bring that up because I've seen this spread.
This weed is also in Portofino
It is.
and
Okay.
it's become a big
You know what I'm
issue.
talking
Yeah. And actually
Clearly not smokable.
No.
we got it from
Well, I
the
don't
golf
know.
course.
I hear.
It came into Portofino from the golf course.
Okay,
But they do not know what to do with it because
Okay.
it is so expensive
yeah,
to
it is,
eradicate.
but it's just destroying them.
Sure.
So, when I spoke to Fabian the other day, he asked if.
Junior or senior?
Junior.
Okay.
He asked if he could get a list of the zones and who's responsible for
Oh,
the zone.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's in the minutes. Yeah, but it didn't have the people in it, so,
No,
yeah, I think it's in the minutes. So,
that was that November?
yeah, I think it was November or December.
I don't think
So
so.
that's okay.
And I don't know
I
if
sent
we
it
have
to
all the
Fabian.
different zones too. Kathleen, what is your zone?
4.
Where?
Oh,
Well, just give,
It's Aviano, Trias, that whole,
Okay.
that whole thing.
that whole
Okay.
area.
To the monument.
all right. And you have the front area,
Front entrance.
tree line and the front entrance. You go from
To Bellagio.
to Bellagio. Cindy Watterson goes from there down to Palazzo. Bruce Black has along
Here's the
Prado.
zone 1 is Sherry.
Oh, there you
So whatever is left is Vince.
Zone 2 is,
I mean,
go. Leftover, yeah, you're right.
but they're all identified.
any others? Yes, Bob.
Couple questions. In the April meeting, be prepared to do the budget. If we're running out of time, so the next meeting, fix it. So if you got a budget, item, like
Keep it the same.
your pitch, whatever. Have we any open requests for cul-de-sacs refurbishment yet?
The last one I got was for a villa.
They didn't put taking those trees out. Our trophy.
But if, you know,
we just approved the
if
budget.
we're gonna have, you know, the next president's meeting, if you want people to solicit, you may not. But
I don't, I'm not,
Okay, then we won't say a word.
if they ask, we will help them.
Okay,
But I'm not gonna go out
Okay.
and,
and solicit. Okay, good.
yeah.
So
Uh,
I'm probably gonna do something for Aviano now that I'm not on the Aviano board. And I'm gonna go ahead and
That's fine.
probably design something for.
I mean, we
So
have
that's
money.
down the
I
piece.
mean, if we run out of money in that one line item, we can transfer from somewhere else to.
well, you're not talking about the Aviano cul-de-sac, right?
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay.
No, we own, Gateway owns the monument in the front and the little.
No, I know what, I'm,
But not. the
I'm
front.
totally on board with what Gateway is. SharePoint. Daniel, is this group should we be using SharePoint, or we just stay with the tickets? Are we transitioning? And my own point is, if we're gonna transition, we better get training at some future meeting on how to use SharePoint. If they need.
SharePoint really gets used predominantly for, say, taking something back to like a new contract, working through the scoping and things like that.
Well, it's not something that.
It's not an everyday business, because all the things that are tracked here for landscaping are tracked through the Ameriscape ticketing system. So there's, other than going to do a new contract or SPA or something to that effect, it wouldn't need to be due on SharePoint. But I'll gladly give anybody that wants SharePoint training.
The last part of what I had is, we have the list that Daniel's guy keeps of what we're doing and when we're doing it. And I don't know if you share it already with everybody, but particularly in like with regard to future monuments to be painted.
Yep.
They've got a methodology. They say when they're gonna be done. You know, y'all want to know that.
Oh, yeah.
So
That was my question. Where do we find that at?
what's going to be done where?
Uh-huh.
Well, Mark is the one that sets it, but then
Oh,
he sets the priority. Three chairman, landscaping, safety, all do that.
It's real simple.
Pretty simple.
We're starting in the front and working our way to the
Yeah.
back of the community. So
But then, you know, a lot of people don't.
you can see where we left off. You
What
know
they
where
did
we're
on
going
Aviano,
next.
they don't see what's done in Trentino.
Yeah.
But they will see Bellagio and,
I don't have to.
oh, you were tracking Mark.
You were tracking the cul-de-sacs and the monument, but we dispersed
I was
money for
tracking.
that.
Well, if somebody asks, you don't want the same neighborhood every year.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
that's it with the, yeah, okay.
So along this line, Bob asked me if I could speak at the president's meeting, kind of where we are and things like that. Can they put the dates in that they do those monuments?
Well, only what next? Because various,
Well,
based on rain and things like that.
I don't want to go out and have to go out and see what they did to be able to respond to the question.
But
as
that
to-
comes to you right now.
No, it doesn't.
They should have the dates in their minutes, because they should have a.
I don't think it does.
Mark, they should have a
I
date.
have all the dates.
Okay.
The last time they were washed, the last time the lights were inspected.
Yeah, the information is available to us.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Okay. I'll forward it. We've got a order of march for who's getting painted and when, give or take.
Yeah, and that's the thing that he would
Yeah.
take in the meeting.
So do I have rights to put information on this? Because at
No,
one
that-
time I did, but the last time I tried to put it in, it wouldn't save it. And what I was putting in is the financial information as to what we paid for monuments and cul-de-sacs.
We can add rights for you.
Okay, so like I said, one time I did, and then the last time I went in, it
It's
wouldn't
back
save
into
it.
that discussion of whether the subcommittee is gonna maintain this or we want that.
So is
I-
somebody
It's probably
tracking
better
the
such with
date?
them.
I would like them to put in the dates that it's done.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to drive around and.
Now that you're gonna do every other month, we could probably.
We track it internally regardless.
Okay.
It's just pushing it to you guys for information. That's all.
All right.
The dates are important because people change. People will have memory loss. You know, they'll.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I write everything down. Don't worry.
But we ought to get out of voice. And put it in. So that here's what we expect in the next 3 months.
Subject to change depending on
Yeah.
weather.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
You know how you come into the front gate
Yes, ma'am.
and then on the left side, there's that little island between the gatehouse and the guest entrance?
Yep.
There's these big cones. They're like big, huge green cones. I lifted one up it's an electrical box, but it looks like it's all been
That
disconnected.
used to be the original.
Right. Is there any way that we can
Um,
put a flat lid on top
Yeah.
of that rather than a big
Yeah,
round cone type thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll take care of it.
we've done it.
I've got some electrical
Yes,
work that I'm doing.
very much so.
Yeah,
I used to live in Ball Harbor.
you are in our.
At Ball Harbor, everything in the front end, if there was a stick on the ground, they would pick it up daily.
Wires
I
aren't
like-
connected.
I think it's
The
important.
wires-
Glad that's yours on.
It is very
And you're
important.
attentive to the detail.
Thank you. And thank you, Dan, for taking care of that.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. I've got some electrical work that I'm trying to do for Cindy for lights for the holiday decorations. When I get that electrician out here for that, I will fix that.
And the vendor for the electrical lights, I went into the bushes, they left a whole bunch of lights, strings of lights.
Okay.
So if you see any, you should pick them up, so they don't get all chopped up. They weren't connected to any electrical stuff, thank God.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Anything else for the good of the cause?
I have one item. The Mayorscape contract was approved by the board last week, so just letting you know that we'll be moving forward with Mayorscape.
There's a 3-year contract with 2 1-year extensions.
Correct. It's a renewal of the contract, so we will. We're still signing it, but it was approved.
I-
To move
I would
forward.
like, if anybody else can disagree with this, but I prefer a hard copy that I can sit and go through. Old school. Because there are things in that contract that Ameriscape should be held accountable for that we don't. And it's pretty much in black and white to, this is your job, you need to do it. And
Do you want printed copies?
I would like a printed
I
copy.
would like it.
That's up to
April-
everybody.
At the April.
At the
meeting.
April meeting,
That
if
would
we
be-
could.
yeah.
I think we should look at it.
That's all I have.
Has anybody notified Ameriscape?
I haven't talked to Mayorscape yet. I mean, this was just, it was a consent item last week, so I was just waiting. Yeah.
I asked them if they had heard anything and they had not.
Well, it's because they don't come to the meeting.
Well, I understand that, but you think
Okay.
somebody would let them know
The
that
brown-
you just got your
Our
major
con-
person in contact.
Our contracts manager will
Randy.
be in contact with them. Yeah.
is there any way we can invite Javier Junior to our April?
Javier and Javier Junior.
You
Not
know-
Javier,
Fabian.
Fabian, sorry. Fabian, yes.
I would,
Fabian Junior.
what I would, this is a personal preference. I would send the invitation to Fabian Senior. I have better luck with follow through if Fabian Senior tells me it will be done
Yeah.
as opposed to Fabian Junior.
Oh, that's totally
Fabian
fine.
Junior will tell you it will be done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think just having a touch base now that they're,
Sure.
so they
Have
know
Georgia
where
add
we're
Fabian
at.
to the distribution.
I will invite him.
Well, but Georgia will do it automatically.
I will still invite him.
And make sure it's clear that you want him, not his sibling, Georgia. Gilbert.
I have one more question, and maybe it's been answered. Brown awning. I'm in the brown awning at the gatehouse.
Oh,
Is that gonna stay brown like that? People have asked, I don't know if it comes here, but, you know, the awning.
Oh,
It's
I'm,
picked out like a sword.
yes, and the colors don't match because it's, yes. That's why I'm meeting with Jennifer. I'm just trying
Okay.
to
Okay,
get everything looking
okay.
copacetic
Okay.
in the front, so.
So you gotta make a proposal?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. At night, I'm down there with my clipboard. Yeah, so who owns it? Is it Gateway who wants to build
Gateway
it?
owns the building.
Yeah.
So as a landscaping committee, can I get a quote to change the color?
This committee wants to do it.
Okay, are you?
but this
okay with
comes
that?
out of our budget as opposed to safety and security who's actually responsible. Which, that's fine. It's all one pot. It
Yes.
doesn't matter.
And we have a bigger one.
I don't know what their
You probably
pot
wouldn't have
is.
to change the arch, right?
No, don't do that. But I am looking to clean it up and put bushes around, the area. There's a bike out there that people, it's just junky. There's cones. I want the cones out of there. I want it to look fresh. And right now it's really junky.
They could also power wash some of that pavers out there.
That's why I'm talking to them. Because I want to see what they're gonna do with
Yeah.
pavers and stuff like that. I just want to work together with the other subcommittees. She is the chair for safety and streets.
Safety and security.
Safety, that's the next meeting.
Everything from about 20 foot in off of tree line is gateway.
We have the wherewithal, we have payroll.
Okay, as long as does it work right now?
The swirly, I won't put the swirly on brick. It'll destroy all
Where,
of
where they
the.
went down Cypress Grove, it just looks ridiculous. You see the stripes and then you can tell where they stop because you get two disc. two
Swirly.
circles.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just to address safety issues. And
Yeah,
you really don't want it to be doing the.
I understand.
cosmetic
They did
pressure
go all the
washing
way
and
down
stuff,
Cypress, so now it's striped all the way down.
When it was originally purchased, pressure washer was 2 years long. The main bollards. Occasional.
Yeah.
Safety. Well, we should have the ability to do the side.
Yeah.
If this piece of equipment doesn't do it, then we ought to find something that does.
And.
But when it comes to brick pavers, though, I would say
No,
I would say definitely go out. You want a warranty
Right.
and the insurance behind it because I will tell you what we have in house capability wise will destroy the
That's
underlying
fine.
portion
Don't
of the
do
brick. Yeah.
And I appreciate your bringing that. It wasn't my intent to use that machine.
No.
out there.
I would
didn't-
definitely.
Anything else?
The downside of that machine too is
All right,
that
I
water
would
tank
make a-
small that it.
so I would like to ask everybody to try and make an effort to plan to attend the April meeting because we will set our
What's the
future
date of that?
for Thursday. Thursday of April is
That's true.
so you can provide whatever input.
What was the date?
April 24th. 1, 2, 3. Okay, whatever. We'll work on it. And you're usually available for whatever we do decide.
Easter's the 20th, so you should probably stay away from the week of the 14th. That's Good Friday, Holy Thursday. all
Oh,
that
we have the 24th. Is our next scheduled meeting. Just to make sure we have a quorum and anybody can provide input on future meeting dates, so we can get that kind of set up. So I would like to make a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Thank you.
Good meeting, thank you.